Hello, Aquarius, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your connection between you and the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. We will be pulling for all three sides of the connection, so we'll be looking at your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it, the concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we'll be looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section is looking at what is the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. On that note, the whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that's totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point is to take what helps, if there is anything, and leave what does not. The last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Aquarius, let's start. Let's see what Aquarius is dealing with on their side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. For Aquarius' side of this connection, please. Patience. It's also an energy of discernment. Trapped. Patience with trapped. So, not really feeling all that happy with where things are at in this connection. But I feel like you're trying to be very patient with this person or with the connection in general. But this patience card also kind of feels, because if you look at the imagery, it's like a chessboard, right? So I kind of also gather from this need to be very careful or very discerning with your energy and your approach here. Because again, with this trapped card, it feels like you feel trapped in the current experience of this connection. I feel like you want it, or you want it to work, but how it is right now, you're not necessarily happy with that. So you're trying to have patience with it. But again, and I know I just said all this, but again, there's also this need to have discernment, to be very careful with your approach in some way. This person's energy toward Aquarius. This is an interesting start to a reading, that's for sure. This person's energy here. What does Aquarius need to know? About this person's energy toward them. Breakups and makeups. Confusion. So this person's very in and out. Wishy-washy. Is the deja vu. Confusion. So this person is very in and out, up and down, left and right. I feel like that wishy-washy behavior that you're experiencing in this connection is where you feel, that's the cycle you feel trapped in. Because I feel like you don't like the wishy-washiness. You don't like the distance and then the reconciliation and distance, reconciliation. But I feel like you're waiting for a time when things are better in this connection. Now, this confusion card can take of one of two ways, or maybe it's both. I feel like this person's behavior is very confusing for you in general, because again, I feel like the wishy-washiness is going to just kind of be like a whirlwind. Like, you're like, what do you want? What's going on? Like, what the hell? But in addition to that, I also feel as if they don't know what they want here. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't want the connection. It might mean that they struggle with commitment, or they struggle with, fully investing themselves into a relationship in general, because they struggle to let go of their freedom, or I don't know, it could be so many different things. And I think that is where this wishy-washy breakup, makeup, in and out, up and down, left and right. Like, it just feels like this person honestly is a little bit all over the place. And it's, I feel like it's kind of getting old. The deja vu is kind of just like this energy of like, we've been here before. I'm tired of dealing with it. It's like the same old song, right? Like, I think literally that, yeah, the deja vu card is a CD. It's a scratched CD. It's like the same old song here. All right. So what's the truth of this connection? What does Aquarius need to know about the deeper truth, deeper purpose of this connection between them and this person? Euphoria, a dream come true. Know your worth. Oh, that's tricky. I feel like when this connection is together, when things are good, like this person isn't withdrawn or, kind of doing their wishy-washy thing, I feel like it's really good. It feels like a dream come true. It's like, oh my gosh, this feels so good. This is so, this is everything I've looked for. This is everything I want. But it's I feel like difficult for you to know what the best decision for you in this connection is, because I feel like you don't want to lose what you and this person have or like could have, but at the same time you're unhappy. You're not fulfilled here. And not that any one person can fulfill us, but I do feel like you feel very stuck in where things are at, and you definitely want things to be different. I feel like this is really tricky energy to navigate, because especially if you're dealing with someone where you're like, I know they love me, I know they care about me, but they just cannot seem to get their shit together. It's hard, because you're like waiting on them to kind of make up their mind or to open up or to commit or whatever the case is, and you're just like, let's just do it already. Like, I'm tired of this cycle or this energy. And I think that that's kind of where you've been with this person. But I do definitely feel as if there's a need, like I said, to be very careful with your approach here. It kind of feels as if Spirit has a bit of a warning for you when it comes to this person and it comes to this connection. I obviously didn't see the manipulation card or anything, so I don't necessarily know, like, I don't think that they're necessarily being like dishonest, but just because we didn't see the card doesn't mean that that's not happening. I don't know. I just feel like there's a need to approach or proceed with caution here, because I definitely feel like, because dealing with someone who doesn't know what they want, I think we have a tendency to take that personally and go, well, why don't they want me? Like, why am I not enough? When in reality, when you're dealing with someone that doesn't know what they want, it has nothing to do with you. It's nothing to do with your actual value. It has more to do with their inability to essentially commit or make their mind up because of their own stuff, right? It very rarely has anything to do with you. But I don't know. There's something going on here. Overall theme of this reading for Aquarius. Because you deserve more than wishy-washy behavior. Like, you deserve someone who is sure of you and who makes you know how sure of you they are. And I just feel like this person, it's like, I don't know, they're not, but it's not you. I feel like that can be, don't take that from this place of me saying like you're not enough for them, because that's not what I'm saying at all. I feel like this has more to do with where this person is at on like their emotional journey than anything. Overall theme of this reading between Aquarius and this person. Unresolved issues, learning to forgive, and there will be a return. There will be a return because the breakups and makeups, like, I just feel like it's like, yeah, of course they're going to return. They always come back, or like, I don't know. And that's the unresolved issue, I feel like, is why is this person so wishy-washy? Now, this learning to forgive card is interesting, because I do feel, actually, Aquarius, like you have a tendency to forgive this person maybe a little bit too easily. Now, I will say forgiveness is always good. Acceptance of repeated patterns is not. We can forgive someone without tolerating their behavior, right? Forgiveness isn't saying, I forgive you and let's, just move forward, pretending like nothing happened. Forgiveness is saying, sure, I forgive you. Like, I'm not, mad at you for the way you treated me anymore, but I'm also not going to allow myself to be treated like that again. Forgiveness and boundaries need to go hand in hand. So I don't know. I feel like I just don't like it. I don't like it for you. I feel like there's something about this person that is a little sketchy, or like this energy. It's a little sketchy. And I feel like you know that too, which is why, I don't know, which is why I feel like you're trying to be discerning, or you have the warning to be discerning. But it feels so good when it's good. I feel like that's the hard part, is but it feels like a dream come true. I don't know, this is complicated. So let's just, before I keep trying to figure everything out, let's actually dive into tarot here. So let's see, Aquarius, what do we got going on for your side of this connection? Aquarius is energy toward the person they are dealing with. I feel like this is definitely one of those times where you're needing to really trust your gut. I don't know if like your intuition knows that there's something off, or like your gut is telling you that something's off, because I feel like, again, you're not happy with how things are. You're waiting on getting to where you feel they can be. Aquarius' side of this connection. Judgment in reverse, Ace of Pentacles, Three of Wands, Tower, Fool in reverse. Okay. What else? There's a song that just popped into my head. One Step Forward, Three Steps Back by Olivia Rodrigo. It's always one step forward, three steps back. I feel like that's what happens in this connection. It's like you feel like things are moving forward. You feel like things are going well. It's like you're moving along, and then just bam, something happens out of nowhere. And this Tower is like things start, there's a fight or an argument or things fall apart, and you're just like, what just happened? Like, we were just good an hour ago. And I feel like this has been really challenging for you, because I feel like you've started to read into like, okay, well, what can I do to make this person happy? Or what can I do to not upset them? Or what can I do to make sure that, they're happy, or that they feel good in this connection? And I feel like because you do care about them. Like, I feel like you do want them to feel loved and cared about and all those things. But at the same time, because, with the Fool in reverse, waiting for a new beginning that never seems to come. And it's like, even though, and it's always back at the same place. Always back at the same place. Moving forward, things are going good. We're taking a step forward, and then for 3 steps back. Okay, we're back to where we started. We're with the same argument over and over again, or something. And I feel like this has started to, or will, if you're not careful, to affect your mental and emotional health, because you're going to start to wonder why you're not good enough. Now, this Judgment in reverse card is interesting too, because this is definitely that tendency to look at things through rose-colored glasses. So to see somebody as we want them to be, or as we hope that they are, instead of as they are. And I feel like because again, Temperance with the Sun in reverse. See, I'm going to come back to that, what I was just saying. Sorry, I had a whole new message pop in. There's that Patience card, but then there's the Sun in reverse. You're not happy or not fulfilled in this connection, but you're waiting. You're waiting for a time when you will be. And I feel like you're seeing this person through the lens of those rose-colored glasses, almost through the lens of their potential. And you're really holding on to what this could be if it were as good as it can get all the time. Because again, I feel like when things are good, it's like this is a dream come true. Like you are everything I've ever wanted. And you hold on to those moments when they're there, but I feel like those are either few and far between or have been more so few and far between. And I feel like there's this energy of either trying to get back to how things were or trying to get to like the next level in this connection. Because this Ace of Pentacles to me is waiting on an opportunity. I see the waiting with the Three of Wands. It's like waiting on an opportunity in this connection, but then just consistently met by the Tower. Like the way that I kind of can view it, I guess, is like you're trying to build a house and you finally get that foundation built and then a flood comes in and wipes everything away. Okay, well, let's start again. You start to, build, you build a little bit, a little bit back to, okay, we've had the foundation built again, and then like a tornado comes through and you're like, okay, let's build again. And you start to, and it just feels like it's you're trying to get to a certain place in this connection that just consistently seems to elude you. And I feel like a big part of that is a lot of where like this person's wishy-washiness. And I think that that's where you're going, what the hell can I do to make this better, right? Because you're trying, I feel like you're trying to have patience. I feel like you're trying to have empathy and understanding. And I think that it's getting difficult for you to know like what your worth is, because I feel like you're kind of coming from this place of I love you and I care about you and I want to make this work, and I know that you're struggling, or I know that you've got whatever you've got going on, but like you're also at the same time like, but I gotta make sure I'm good, like I've got to make sure I'm taken care of here. So this is challenging for sure. And I think that this person has a tendency to just like, it feels like repetitive behavior. It feels like the same thing. Maybe in different ways, but it's the same thing. It's the same problem or issue or behavior. Let's see if there's anything else. Anything else for Aquarius' side of this connection? The Knight of Pentacles. Okay, that's in reverse. Yeah, it's like slowly but surely trying to get somewhere. I get just feeling like you're not getting anywhere at all. There's no forward movement. There's no progress. Yeah, because then the Three of Pentacles in reverse, it's like things fall apart. The pieces never fall into place, or everything eventually falls apart. And again, you go back to where you started. So, okay. We're kind of repeating a lot of what we already talked about in those messages. So I'm trying to feel of what 3 cards will best. Okay. I feel like I'm sure there's a reason for this person's behavior. And I feel like you either know what that reason is, or I don't know, you have empathy. Because you wouldn't stay and put up with this if you didn't feel it was worth it, right? Okay. Let's see. This person's energy toward Aquarius. What does Aquarius need to know about this person's energy toward them? Chaotic. That's the first thing I hear. Just chaotic. Got a lot going on. Be dealing with fire sign. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, but you definitely don't have to be. There's that 5 of Swords. Man, does this person have a guard up. Because of their past, for sure. 6 of Cups. What else? And maybe that's what you have empathy for, or like the things that they've been through in the past, or the situations that kind of have put them into this, like, that have caused them to now have their guard up. And I think that, we can have empathy for people and the things that they've been through, but we certainly aren't allowed, we're allowed to do whatever the hell we want, but we shouldn't allow other people to put the ways that they've been hurt, like, on us, because that's not your burden to bear. That's not yours to carry. You're not here to carry the burden of other people's lack of healing. Because there it is, the lack of commitment. 7 of Pentacles in reverse. And that's where that wishy-washy behavior comes from. And this Death in reverse, this is what scares me the most for you. Because it's refusal to change. It's the repetition of the same pattern, same behavior, same cycle. Now, I do feel like they have feelings for you. I feel like that's not really in the question. Like, they do. And I think you know that. I think you're like, this person loves me. They care about me. Like, you can feel it. But their behavior is coming from this place of trying to protect themselves because they have such a wall up. And I feel like the reason I like to do these readings the way that I do is because I've really understood what it's like to be on both sides of connections like this. I've been on this side of pushing people away, and I've been on the side of chasing love and people who push me away. And I realized that both of those were pushing me into healing in some way. And, specifically for people who are kind of dealing with allowing how they've been hurt in the past to affect their love life, affect their connections. Like, I look back at the ways that I used to do that in relationships, and I know that I hurt a lot of people because of my past hurt and my unhealed parts of myself that I had never addressed. I was looking for healing in another person, and that usually led me to hurting other people. So I have a lot of empathy for people who are in this place, because I did it in my past connections. I never meant to. It was never my intention of hurting anybody, but I did. And I have taken responsibility for that. I've said apologies where I felt I needed to, and here I am. But I've also then, it's like I did a little bit of healing, and then I ended up on this side of things, where it was like I could understand why somebody was pushing me away. I understood what it was like to be in that position. I had been there before. I had done it in past relationships. And so I would see that in the people that I was dealing with, and I'd have such empathy for it that it's almost like I would allow them to act the way that they did because I understood why they did. And that's when I really learned about toxic empathy, where it's like, having empathy for where someone is at or why they're acting the way that they do is important for sure. But it becomes toxic when we tolerate that behavior in a way that then starts to harm us, because then we're basically saying you deserve love more than I do. So I'm going to give you that love while you treat me poorly, and I'm going to accept, little, hoping that eventually one day I get more. And being in that place is just as unhealthy as being in this place, because it's essentially coming from this belief that you are inherently deserving of less. When we don't believe we're deserving of the love that we truly desire, we usually chase it in people that we chase it in people that don't give it to us, or we push it away in people that do. Which is why that chaser and that runner seem to find each other, because they have that mirrored wounding of, I don't feel lovable, I don't feel good enough, I'm afraid of being hurt because of my past. And then that past gets mirrored in each other, and then it's just a whole mess. So I definitely feel for you and where you're at in this connection. And like, I feel like you see this person and you're like, no, you don't get it. Like, they're good. Like, they at the core of it, or maybe you don't believe that. But I do feel like you see them for who they could be if they would heal, grow, evolve, whatever the case is. Because again, with this 5 of Swords, it's obvious that they have such a wall up that I feel like you're like trying to chip away at. It's just like one piece at a time, trying to chip away. But it's like you start to break down that wall, and it's like overnight they build a brand new one in its place. Kind of going back to that example I was giving of like, you're trying to build this foundation, this house, like, together, and it continues to get washed away by something. And I feel like that this confusion of this person not really knowing what they want or their lack of commitment, it's not coming from a place of not caring about you or not loving you or not valuing you or not desiring the kind of love that this connection offers. It's coming from this place of being so afraid of getting hurt that they're unable to open up to it. And that is their business. Okay, that's the hardest thing that I have learned, is that other people's healing is their business. It's not mine. It is not my burden. It's not my business. And I have learned that if people decide to, to make the changes that they need to in order to treat me well, then that's going to be because they decide that they need to. I've really learned that people only change when the pain of staying the same outweighs the pain of change, because change is so hard and a lot of people just don't want to do it and don't want to admit that they need to, which is oftentimes the biggest factor, is this inability to say, yes, I need to change or grow or heal or treat people different or whatever the case is. And I think that, I remember being in that place. I remember being in a place of being a victim in every single one of my relationships, even when I was doing a lot of the damage. And I think that it just comes from this place of not wanting to face yourself or face the pain that lies underneath whatever kind of version of you that your ego has built and stands by, because it protects you from having to feel those deeper parts. And I think that where this person is at is definitely that hurt people thing. And I feel like you are trying to have your patience with them through that. But I think it's really, really important for you to make sure, Aquarius, that you are not consistently allowing this person to use you as a source of energy instead of doing the work. Even if they're not doing it intentionally, because that still doesn't make it okay. Even if it's not intentional, it's still not okay if someone continues to hurt you over and over again, especially if you've asked to be treated better. At that point, when you've asked to be treated better and somebody continues to show up with the same behavior, at that point it's a choice. Because at that point they're saying, I know what you need and I'm choosing not to do that. And we have to learn to understand that when people are making a choice not to treat us well, that it doesn't have anything to do with us. It has everything to do with them and where they're at and what they're capable of. So we have to learn not to take people's decisions personally. We have to learn to make decisions that are best for us, based on where they're at, and be able to say, this isn't enough for me, or this isn't, I need more than this, or I need change. I need things to be different or better. I'm trying to figure out what the best card here. So I definitely understand why this is hard, but I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like there's a need to really, it feels like Spirit's trying to warn you about where this person is at, what they're capable of, and just make sure that you are protecting yourself from their repeated behavior. And again, recognize that people don't change for us. They don't change because we want them to. They don't change because we try to love them into it or guilt them into it or shame them into it. People change when they decide to change because they recognize that it is the best decision for them to make. And that very often, or very rarely, happens when we need them to. And so we have to make our decisions based on expecting people not to change. It doesn't mean people can't change, because people absolutely can. I've changed, so I know that that's true and that's possible, but it doesn't mean that they will. And we have no control over that. So we have to learn to make decisions for ourselves in relationships based on where people show us that they're at, instead of where we want them to be or where we hope that they will be one day. But that's not always easy to do when we love someone. So I get it. In between this connection, you have dream come true with know your worth. I'm going to dive deeper into this, looking at the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. Thank you so much, Aquarius, as always, for your support of my channel, especially through just all of you guys that are just comment and interact with me on a day-to-day basis. I love to see it. And not only that, but it does also help kind of boost my channel in the algorithm. So I appreciate all of you, even if you guys are silent viewers. I appreciate you too. But thank you as always, and I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. Bye, Aquarius.